So I wonder what happens in our mind that makes us want to quit and give up. So that's what we're going to get into today. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boorman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know. So, quick question that I want you to answer in the comments is, do you constantly feel like just giving up? And does the struggle get so much that you just feel like you can't pursue what you're trying to pursue? So it's all too much. So I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to quit and take a step back. Be interesting to know what you think, and if something that you do, be honest with it in the comments. It's good to be honest. So before we get started, guys, we are officially opening the next 28-day challenge. Okay, so the next 28-day challenge starts on the 7th of August. If you jump on our early bird, it will be a week earlier, so it'll be the end of the month. And we're looking to work with guys who are wanting to build some structure in amongst the chaos of life, okay, to be able to achieve their health goals, to be able to manage themselves better, improve their quality of life, their quality of thinking, making better decisions, being more consistent, having more control of the time and energy, and really more clarity on the direction they want to go, you know, when it comes to their careers, improving your careers, making decisions about your careers, and not ending up in life jail, if you like. So we're looking for guys that want to come and work with us. There's an application form attached to this post. Go and check out the link, or if it's on Instagram, go and check the bio, fill out the application form, and then myself or one of my team will be in touch with you. All right. So I think if you don't ever think about quitting, you're not human. You know, I think at some point in our lives, I think everybody gets to that point where they're like, oh my God, I just want to quit. I just don't want to do this. You know, I remember many evolutions that went on in the military where physically and mentally you're being pushed right to the very brink of your limitations of what you're willing to take, And I think sometimes we can quit too easily, for sure. Sometimes I think we let go of the ball way before we should do, and I think that comes down to a couple of things. And I think it comes down to, one, the conditioning of us as human beings and what we're capable of, or what we think we're capable of. I think it comes down to, and this is where I feel the majority of people do quit, is because we don't manage our expectations. So expectations end up being all the way up here, really high. Pack it in. End up being really too high for us to manage. And the level of conditioning that we're at in terms of life is wafer thin. So when we are trying to reach those expectations that we set for ourselves, we fall short. And sometimes we try and work 10 times harder than we really should. Are you video bombing me? Than we should. And then we become burnt out and frustrated. And then we lose focus. And then we become inconsistent. Then we think, what's the point? And then you get to that mindset where maybe it's time to call it a day. Sometimes I also think there's nothing wrong with recognizing maybe a change in direction. And if something isn't working out, sometimes it can feel like quitting, but sometimes it could be a good decision to simply move left or right in a different direction. But I feel overall you need to manage the expectations of what you're trying to achieve. Now, where those expectations come from is in your own mind. Now, for having done this for a while and worked with guys for a while, I really feel those expectations come from comparing yourself to other people. Maybe it comes from childhood, trying to meet a standard maybe that your dad set you or your mum set you. Your friends and family around you, and maybe the standards that they have for themselves and the expectations that they set, and maybe you're just trying to keep up. I don't know. It's a really difficult one to manage individually, but I think if you ask yourself some of the tough questions, you start to understand where those expectations come from. I mean, the expectations could come off the back of fear and feeling fear for security, fear of not being the person that never showed up in the family, a whole host of reasons. But whatever it is, you really need to connect with those reasons why you set those expectations high. Now, if we set them so high and we're not at that level to reach them, why don't we just simply reduce those expectations? Now, that's easily said than done. But I think the biggest battle that you have when you reduce your expectations is your ego. And the ego, I think, is what prevents us from seeing reality and being honest with ourselves, because we feel, again, that we're not good enough or we're not meeting a standard if we lower our expectations. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this. Actually, levels of courage and self-awareness that it takes to go, I'm not at this level. This is the level that I'm at for where I am right now in my life. I'm content right here. This is where I'm going to perform. This is where I'm going to thrive. This is where I'm going to grow. This is where I'm going to take things to the next level. And then suddenly, if you think about what we spoke about on the last Rise to Thrive, the pressure eases. Suddenly, you can manage the workload, or you can manage the task, or you can manage the pursuit of what you're trying to achieve, whether it's a health, whether it's a career, personal development, or relationships, in no particular order. I think what it does is allows you to work at a level that doesn't impose failure, okay, or doesn't implement worry, the pressure. And they are the things that end up creeping up on us, and they are the emotions that end up locking on, that make us want to quit, that make us just say, I'm done, I'm literally done with this, and then walking away. And that's something that we often work on with the guys all of the time. On the 28th day, nearly every day, there's a message of perspective. Understand the bigger picture. You know, when you're on a journey, it's not a journey to achieve the perfect you or the best version of you in 2 weeks. It's about creating a journey throughout the whole of your life, an evergreen process and of discovery and evolution of who you are and your personality and your character and your ethics and everything you stand for, and you building that over a long period of time. And then when you get to that state of mind, quitting, giving up is never an option. It's never an option, because you know this is about the long term. So again, it comes down to an element of patience as well. So there's lots of different thought processes there. But in theory, okay, I think if you ever think about giving up, just really allow your ego to drop and put things into perspective to see that bigger picture. I hope that makes sense for you. For sure, let me know what you think in the comments. Hope you have a great weekend. I am taking a weekend off from social media. Hopefully the boys, hopefully when I come on Monday morning, the boys will be holding European Cup. It's coming home.